So I have a pretty good load on the truck. I have 4 sheets of 5/8 purple rock, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 8 sheets of 1/2-inch cement board. Ooh, fancy. Fancy. Cut all the pieces first downstairs. Take my measurements for all the windows, for all the pieces. And I don't know what that was for. Oh no, that one goes upstairs too. Let's get this rock upstairs and start screwing it down. So we're just about 2 hours into today, at least into the purple project, not today because I did unload my truck first. And I have the extent of purple that I'm going to put up installed. And there are some tile guys, and I don't know if this is right, wrong, or indifferent, but this isn't the way I do it. There's some tile guys that would put the tile directly on top of the purple board as it sits right now. Something that is not an option would be to mud the Hi, how you doing? Would be to mud this seam. The transition between new and old needs to be floated out with some drywall compound and some tape to bridge the gap. That's not an option, but some guys will put tile directly on the purple board. And I guess that sticks. I guess that's cool. I don't like doing that. Me personally, I like mudding all my seams. I put a single coat. I hit all the screw heads, single coat on the screw heads, single coat on the seams. And then when that's all done, I paint it. I'll put a coat of primer on top of the purple, and that's just to bind the paint to the paper and to any dust that may be on that surface. And that just really assures me that there's going to be a good adhesion. Like I said, I don't think that's written in stone to do that, but that kind of, in my mind, that goes the extra mile to guarantee that I won't have any tile falling off the wall. And I put tile directly on the old green board stuff in bathroom remodels done 10-15 years ago, and never had a problem with it sticking directly to the tile. However, I am going to use tile board here because the thickness of that cement board matches up with this way better than the drywall is. This is not a true 1/2 inch. It's not 0.5 inches. It's like 0.42 inches, and it's perfect. So anyway, I'm going to do the enclosure in cement board. Which is probably overkill, but well, you know, that's what I do. And then the purple is fine, and then I'm going to put cement board down here. The seams between the floor and the wall have all tightened up real nice now with the addition of the 5/8 purple board, with the exception of here. I had to get it tight because this wall is not square. You see the difference? There's about 3/16 of an inch out of square, which I'm going to go in a later video. I'm going to show you how I can fudge tile. The problem with tile, well, not the problem, but the way tile lays out, it's in a real definitive XY axis when you're just doing standard rectangular or square tile. So it's very hard to, you've got to know what you're doing before you start laying out your tile, and to realize that I'm going to have this much of a gap, and you can see the gap difference here to here. So this wall here, it has kind of sagged itself that way. So getting these lines to line up and not highlighting the square walls, I'll show you how to do that in a future video. So getting back to the floor here. Getting back to the floor, because I get distracted by shiny objects, I did leave a gap here. It's about 3/4 of an inch or so here, and then it gets a little fatter here, which with 0.42 inches, or we'll just call it 1/2 inch tile board, cement board on the floor, that gap probably would never be an issue. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some mortar, and I'm going to throw it in this crack here, just so there's not any sort of void space to where the tile bridges over. And it's that extra mile thing. And just to make sure, because this one's kind of big, this turned out to be kind of a big gap. I'm going to fill that with concrete, a little concrete mortar, and any extra I'll put in here. Although this gap is less than a 1/2 inch. So I'm really not worried about. But if I have any left over from that, I'll squish it in there. And I'm going to leave the toilet flange alone because there are no tiles in there that would be affected by having that space open. Anywho, so I'm going to go downstairs and eat my lunch. My plan after lunch is to get cement board here, and do the cement tile board on the flow. I'm going to save this wall for tomorrow. I have to, it's my earplug. I have to change that shower valve, and I don't feel like doing that today. Also, once again, I got distracted by shiny objects. It's time for me to go. It's about 4:30 and I gotta hit the school. Soundboard tonight, I think I mentioned that earlier. So this is where I'm gonna leave it for the night. I've got these two pieces notched in. Well, that one notched in. That's a full sheet, fortunately. I mixed up a little mortar, floated out this seam here, and as I always do, I mixed a little bit too much because I'm an idiot. So I took some fiber tape, F-I-B-A, fiber, not fiber. I don't know. Did the seams for the shower, and I'll do that valve tomorrow. You guys know that already. So I put a strip of this fiber tape along the seam, and then just force as much concrete as I can into the seam, although it was pretty tight. So I didn't get a whole lot in there, but that's all right. It's better than nothing. And then I still had more superior moisture and mold protection. I still had more mortar, so I took the rest of the fiber tape and I did the kitchen and laundry room seams, which is fine. They had to be done anyway. But yeah, so I'm thinking I can actually get here at a respectable hour. I had 3 other stops. 3 other stops before I could get here today. So I didn't get here until a couple hours past my normal due time. So tomorrow I can get here bright and early. I should be here by 8:30. There you go, there's the day. See how we do tomorrow.